You aren't a victim of bad luck. You are the architect of your own stagnation. Your daily behaviors are dismantling the future you want. You blame the economy, a difficult boss, or unfortunate events to explain why you aren't where you want to be. Looking outward is an automatic defense mechanism. Your brain seeks a scapegoat to protect your ego from the specific pain of admitting your own choices have consequences. As long as you rely on these external excuses to shield your pride, you remain blind to the internal behaviors that keep you trapped in the same place year after year. Real self-sabotage is rarely a massive, dramatic explosion. It is built on a series of boring, mundane daily choices that feel normal while they erode your agency. This pattern is called the avoidance loop. It is a psychological trap consisting of 3 phases: the trigger, the escape, and the justification. Failing to interrupt this mechanism means your daily life is governed by reactive impulse rather than your own conscious intent. The loop starts with your biology. Your brain is hardwired to conserve energy, meaning its default state is to seek the path of least resistance. Without a structured routine, you default to this baseline. You stay anchored in your comfort zone because you haven't built the discipline required to move out of it. This state is deceptive because it feels safe. You don't notice the long-term damage of inaction while you're occupied with the immediate comfort of the familiar. This baseline acts as a trapdoor. When a difficult task finally appears, the lack of discipline makes that task feel like an existential threat, dropping you straight into the second phase of the loop. The moment you face a hard project or a difficult conversation, you experience a sharp spike of internal resistance. Because you haven't trained yourself to handle friction, your first instinct is to pull away. A responsible person uses friction to start, but an avoidant person freezes, letting pressure stop them. To escape, your brain overthinks. You spend hours researching, convincing yourself that preparation equals producing a result. Eventually, the anxiety of that mental loop becomes too much. You need a way to numb the stress you've created by not acting. You reach for a distraction. You scroll through social media or watch mindless videos to drown out the internal noise of the work you're ignoring. In this moment, you are training your brain to prioritize immediate relief over the goals you claim to value. When this choice is repeated thousands of times over a year, you effectively build the walls of the cage you're stuck in. You are trading your long-term autonomy for a temporary, cheap reduction in stress. When the distraction eventually fails, you're left with the heavy weight of the time you've wasted. To manage this guilt, you deploy negative self-talk. You tell yourself you're just not a productive person, or that you lack the focus required to succeed. This chart illustrates the purpose of that self-criticism. By convincing yourself that you are incapable, you lower your internal expectations. This removes the pressure to try again, giving you a logical excuse to fail. Your brain justifies returning to the baseline of inaction. You've successfully locked the avoidance loop, ensuring that today looks exactly like yesterday. Look at your own behavioral patterns. These habits are the specific reason your life feels stagnant. Breaking this cycle requires absolute accountability. You have to admit that you are the person who built this trap before you can be the person who breaks out of it. You can interrupt the loop right now. Use a 5-second rule to move your body before your brain can start overthinking, or commit to one non-negotiable daily habit to raise your baseline of discipline. Growth requires you to sit with the physical friction that makes you want to reach for your phone. That feeling of resistance is the precise moment where you actually have the chance to change your trajectory. Reclaiming your life is a choice you have to make every single morning. If you're ready to stop the loop and take command of your future, like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you're changing today.